Welcome to Mundelein Minute. This is season 3, episode whatever it is up there. I'm changing the episode numbering because this is just too much. I'm just going to go
Hi.
to just numbers from what it was before.
I don't know what that means,
Yeah,
but all right.
yeah.
You do
Stay
you.
tuned. So we're talking about the village board meeting.
We're a little late.
A little bit late, a couple days late.
I'm adjusting to
So
life
this
with
is
3 kids.
that's right. The April 10th board meeting. Before we get started, my name is Eric Schwenk. I am a trustee in the village of Mundelein. Who are you?
Carol Lambert. I am also a trustee in
Hey,
the village.
cool.
No,
And
we're not.
this is my house, my cameras. There's kids, bird, cat, and a baby.
Eric's got my baby.
I do
Eric's
not.
wife has got my baby.
Right off camera here. She's bouncing around the little one.
Okay.
All
Anyways,
right.
I got my life together, I swear.
So we're talking about the board meeting from this last week, and
Was it
April
April 10th?
10th.
Yep.
Yep. So we did the normal call to order, pledge of allegiance, attendance, approval of minutes, and
And then there was a switch up in the agenda.
there was.
So we had a new board member be appointed with approval from the board. And then he was sworn in, and then he got to take his seat at the dais, and then we went on. So the new board member is Daniel Juarez. He was a former member of the Planning and Zoning Commission. So,
Yeah. And
um,
economic development. Did he serve
yeah.
on EDC?
Yeah, and he served on the beautification committee for a little bit as a liaison from the Planning and Zoning Commission. So he's been involved a lot. He works for the Village of Libertyville. We won't hold that against him.
No, we will not.
It's okay.
Mm-mm.
It's okay. So yeah, he's taking Sol's place, who had to step down a few weeks ago. So we'll go from there.
Right. So I think we talked about this in a previous episode that we couldn't, because of the timing, the name couldn't be added to
The election.
the election that just happened.
Right, because those ballots were printed in
I don't know when,
January.
but January was the cutoff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
So the March resignation, with the appointment, there wasn't time before the halfway mark, if you will.
right,
So this is how it had to be done,
right,
and the mayor gets to appoint, and how the mayor gets to appoint, that's
his
completely
decision.
up to him. So he has in the past put out, um, a call for letters of interest and resumes, and done interviews and an application process, if you will.
Right,
And then this time he decided not to,
right,
which is his choice. And he did ask the trustees for input on who to put forward,
hmm
and we all provided our input. And Daniel Juarez
We'll see how
was
it goes.
appointed.
So there
Yep.
you go.
So he will serve the rest of Sol's term and be up for uh,
Election in
election if
2025,
he
right?
chooses to run, which I don't know.
In 2025.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's crazy to think about. Okay,
Yep. So
so there we go.
that's that. The mayor, for his report. Oh, sorry, I'm missing some stuff here. Presentations and awards.
Oh
So
yeah.
Lori Peterson from Casa Lake County came and did a short presentation talking about.
We should put a link to them here.
Yeah, yeah, you should do that in your editing.
Got it. Sort of good ideas I have.
No, I can put the link in the description
There we go.
below. Yes. So so Casa of Lake County, they provide advocates for
For-
children that are going through the court system,
Yep.
and they run on a volunteer basis. So they have, I think she said, 300 volunteers
That's insane.
that served they had 300 volunteers last year that served 700 kids, and they were short about 40 or 50 kids that they couldn't serve because they were short people.
Oh, yeah.
So they provide reports to the court, and they came to us to just raise awareness and let us know that they are looking for volunteers.
Yep.
So if you'd like to volunteer,
They will train you.
They will train
I looked
you.
on their website, and they have a training schedule that's all online, so it looks pretty easy to do.
Yeah,
and
they
get
said
through,
what,
so-
8 hours a month
Yeah.
is what they're looking for, and
Sorry.
that's okay. So find out more from Casa Lake County.
What else we got?
Public Works and Engineering received the 2022 Tree
TV?
City. Yep, we'll get right there because I totally missed public commentary. But
Wow, this is a good episode.
I know.
Whew.
So we received the 2022 Tree City USA and Growth Award. Now,
Let's go back.
go back up the agenda.
We had public commentary.
Public commentary.
Gail Becky spoke on trees
Yes.
and how we can work better to preserve the mature trees that we have in town that make up our tree canopy.
Correct.
And per the norm, Gail had her life together and was a presentation, and
Gail has it going on
I
whenever she
always-
comes in front of the
I
board.
always
I love
learn
it.
a lot. I always learn a lot. So she was just proposing some ideas to Public Works. I don't know how that will go forward. I kept thinking about, I hate that this is how my brain works now, but like the additional cost to do all this stuff.
So Gail's point was, and this is well taken, around the Diamond Lake area, they're doing some road work this year,
Yeah.
and Public Works and contractors have been out already before the budget. We knew this was happening,
That's
right?
true, yeah.
But we had people out clearing trees that
Yeah.
would be in the way of widening roads, building the curbs, building
Putting
the
in
roads
sidewalks,
themselves,
putting in, yeah.
sidewalks, all
Yeah.
of that infrastructure that's not there today or in very poor condition.
Right.
So the trees came out, and some of those trees were mature, older trees that were not dead. They're
Right.
still
Still in good
alive.
shape. Yeah.
And Gail brought good points about that. So she asked that the village, when engineering projects, that we engineer two versions, uh, what we would normally do version and a save the trees version,
Yeah.
and have a public hearing to seek input. And then also part of those engineering documents would be the amount of difference of cost
Yeah.
that, what it would look, excuse me, what it would look like.
Yes.
So point taken.
Yeah. Understood. I would, and this will be something that I'll probably have to look at a little bit. There's a town in New York that she referenced that does
Mhm.
it, so I'm sure we can gather some information there and go back to Public Works with it and figure it out. So, again, learned a lot.
Correct.
It was good. So,
Yep.
all right, now we can.
So
move
now
on.
it makes more sense why we paused about the Tree City USA and Growth Award, because even Gail pointed out the irony of cutting down
yeah.
trees and then getting an award for it.
So
right
we
after.
do a good job of planting trees when we cut them down. The issue is that those trees aren't mature and big enough to like add to our tree canopy in Mundelein. So
Yeah, so I wrote this down that because we had small discussion about
Yeah.
this, that we are in a net positive. That last year we downed 65 trees, but we added 100.
fair,
Yeah.
but size matters sometimes.
Okay,
So just gonna leave that one.
just gonna leave that there. So there were no public hearings, and in the mayor's report,
Yes.
go for it.
I don't even.
So the Mayor's STEM Challenge will be held Sunday.
Sunday.
So it's this coming Sunday, April 16th. And he talked about the amount of money that has been given as prize money,
Dang, crazy.
and how it has grown significantly over the years. And that is all contributions from
Businesses in
local
town.
area businesses, which is amazing.
Okay,
A
let's get to the fun
mayoral
discussion. Oh no, are we there yet?
proclamation
sorry.
for Arbor Day in the village
More
of
tree
Mundelein.
stuff.
More tree stuff. And then the Rise concert proposal.
So here is how I took this, and maybe I was dumb.
So you want to give a little background before you jump into how you feel?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Got it. So Rise is looking to get first thing they were looking for Monday night was to add a liquor license for this proposed event that they want to host, and it would be a concert. And we're not sure if it would be a one-time deal or a series or anything like that. There's a lot of like gray area and like details that have been left out. So like that, I was like hesitant to comment on it because there's so much unknown.
So Rise is
Oh, to the dispensary.
our sole dispensary
Yeah.
for cannabis, adult use cannabis in Mundelein.
Yes.
And
They're
yes,
located in an industrial district.
they are.
So they want to host concerts and not just like 100 people.
This isn't just like a small jam session in their parking lot. They're looking to actually fill their large parking lot
With
5,000 people.
So
And what we don't have yet, they'll hopefully come back with a full presentation.
he
We
said they
kind of
would.
we asked for that.
Yeah.
Where are the people going to park? What condition will they leave in?
Yeah.
And
I feel like there's two parts
security.
of this proposal, right?
Yeah.
There was like the first part that we heard Monday night was like, would we even be willing to grant them a special use like liquor license? And I like
Mhm.
kind of separated that from
So there was a couple of things, right?
Right.
There was the event itself.
yeah.
There was the
taxing it.
liquor license, and then an entertainment tax.
Yeah.
Those were all the three things that came before us.
So I tried to separate each one of those so
Mhm.
that I could be like objective as possible. Like the liquor license to me, beer and wine, not really an issue in my mind. The tax, yeah, because you're gonna be, no pun intended, taxing our resources, police,
Mhm.
public works, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That was my biggest concern was public safety with this. It makes me very, very nervous. I'm getting so old when that's my concern.
No, you just
Old.
care.
Old. Like 10 years ago, I've been like, yeah, rage on, people. Now I'm like, oh god. And then what was the other one? Taxing, and then the event itself, and like that's where we get into the logistics of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the mayor has brought this up to us before it went before the board, and I've always been like, I get caught up in logistics all the time. Parking, noise, policing. I have answers for that, and they don't yet. So
Right, and that's what they're going to have to bring back to us, because my concern is, what about the area businesses? I don't want that many people in one place around these businesses. This is not
commercial,
a United Center type of place where it's surrounded by parking lots, or
right.
Even some small music venues that have restaurants and stuff surrounding them.
Right.
And we don't have that. So this is just kind of a different proposal.
Yeah.
So it's
a lot of unknowns.
I would say they got a tentative thumbs up to move forward. A tentative thumbs up on the liquor license and the event.
Yeah.
As far as the entertainment tax, the trustee said yes, bring it back to us at 3 to 5%, and it's going to affect basically events of more than 250 people.
Right.
That you're not participating, spectator type events. Mm-hmm. That's kind of where we settled. So we'll see what comes back to us. That was the direction we gave staff. We also understood that that the attorneys will need to kind of take a look at that.
Yeah.
To make sure, because we can't, by law, we can't just
carve them out. Right.
We can't pigeonhole one type of business. We have to be broad enough to capture a market. So that's where we're at on that one.
TBD.
TBD. That's correct. All right.
Also, the fact they want to do it this summer and it's like April.
Well, they said September, so there's still some time.
Just makes me.
Oh, little baby in the background.
Work your magic over there, Amber. Work your magic.
All right. So trustee reports. Ivanhoe Village. We did two things here. We annexed a small piece of property that belonged to the county. It was the donut hole in the donut.
I wanted you to use that term. Okay.
It makes sense.
My favorite.
Though. Isn't it perfect? So there was a tiny piece of property in the middle of the 740 acres that belongs to the county.
Right.
And we have annexed that into the village.
Taking it over.
And then we basically approved a report for fire station
response times.
Yep. This little one in the background, not happy. I don't know how much the microphones will pick up on that.
So it'll just be us laughing.
It'll just be us laughing.
No noise.
Right.
Good.
So Morris Station, we did a plat of vacation for right of way. And then we did 2 star grant approvals. Were these our first?
First 2?
Yep. Our first two.
Yep.
Let's go on.
So the star grant came out of COVID, kind of, where we wanted to be able to like help businesses, but how we were going to do it and where the logistics are and how all these things we didn't know how. So the EDC decided on the STAR program, which is different than the big program because the money is smaller amounts and you can use it towards anything that will help grow your business and help the business in the community. So here were our first 2 very different uses.
Correct.
So the first one, I can't remember the order of
people
them.
too.
So the first one was for a person that would work part-time at this business to help them grow their business. It's an architectural firm, I believe.
Yep.
And so what was the amount? It was $5,000 and the total spend on it was like $12,000.
$12,000,
so we're
right.
gonna pay part of it. Okay, let's see if it, and then the second one was a nail salon that needed new equipment. So same kind of thing. They asked for a small amount of money. We are giving it to them, and then they are going to put their own personal investment in it as well. So this is us kind of like dipping our toes into this, and we'll see.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Michael Decker and his team at the EDC will be following up with these businesses. Sure. I want to see how this goes. You know, is this going to be something that's wildly successful that the village is benefiting from, the people are benefiting from, and the businesses are benefiting from?
Like the big program has been like pretty
correct.
Pretty.
Oh my gosh, the amount of
groundbreaking.
Yeah, it's been great.
So,
and then the next was Park Street Phase 2 engineering.
Cool.
Yeah. So that was it. The $22,000 for Park Street engineering.
Yes.
So that we'll get some good plans out of that.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Public Works.
That's my stomach.
Oh my.
Don't worry.
Okay. Was the fiscal year 2024? Okay. The joint resurfacing project. So every year we bid out with multiple municipalities.
People should be thrilled to see this. People should be.
Luca, roads are good.
Yeah, we like roads, bro. Calm down. But people should be happy to see this. This is exactly what we should be doing. Okay, hurry up before this kid freaks out.
All right, so that was 1.2 million in motor fuel tax revenue that is being utilized, but that's just a portion of.
The motor fuel tax.
Yes, that's
Which, do you want to point out, has to be used for?
Roads. Okay. Yes. So, and that's only a portion of the cost.
Got it.
Yeah. So pavement preservation. This is part of the resurfacing. So this was the rest of it, if you will.
More roads.
More roads. That's right. So it's a joint purchase contract for 2.7 million, and yeah, to Peter Baker and Son. Sorry, that's a very long motion that I was just recapping, and so this is the lowest responsive bidder, part of the joint resurfacing program with other municipalities to get better pricing.
Which is why it's the lowest, right? Because we do it together.
So next one is another intergovernmental agreement, which we love.
We do.
So this is, instead of going out to the free market, municipalities are sharing, and this is a share between Jawa, who
provides our
water, and that name just always cracks me up because I think of Jabba the Hutt every time.
I think of Jaws, but okay.
Okay, so slightly different here, but Jawa is a
Joint Action Waterway Agency.
Yep. Agency. And they provide water to multiple municipalities, and they need a vacuum truck, one of those vacuum trucks that goes out.
We got one.
Yep, and it goes on the manhole covers or whatnot, and it sucks.
I don't know what it does, but I always see it on like.
I'm just guessing it's called a vacuum, so.
Yeah. It sucks.
So we have one, and we are going to share with Jawa for manpower and the truck, and in return, they pay us instead of the free market. So we're able to do that when we have the availability, which we do. Next up was seal coating and striping of the Metro lot. So this is $38,800 to do striping. Which desperately needs it,
because I don't know if you've parked there anytime, but you don't know where to park.
Right. And I did call Eric Gunther on this because I was, we're doing a lot of work right there.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me. And I was like, hey, are we going to
redo our work?
Redo our work here. We're going to seal coat it and stripe it, and then we're going to put all this heavy equipment on it while all of these construction projects are happening. And he said, no, the part that we're leasing to the other people is not what's being seal coated and striped. Different part of the lot altogether.
Good catch on that.
So we're not going to disrupt what we're redoing here.
That would be silly.
Yeah. Okay, Finance Committee.
It's you.
So there was a purchase order to Standard Corporation doing business as Westax for the purchase of a property, the old gas station on Holly Street, 210 East Holly, for $67,553.
We talked about this before.
We did talk about this before. Kara doesn't support it. I'm okay with it. I don't love it.
I don't support it because it just irritates me that the village is involved in this at all. And I get it. You don't have to defend it. I understand why we're doing it, and it's really cheap, but principle.
I get it. I get it. I totally do. I don't like it either. I'm just okay with it. So
you're okay with it because there's a definitive reason for it. That's why you're okay.
Correct.
It's not just nonsense. It's not just to do it. Nonsensical is not the right word, but it's not just to do it.
Not just to own the property.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then our bill approval was $731,674.91, which is right in line.
Right in line.
Where it normally is, and we'll see that creep up here again next month.
When does our new fiscal year start?
May 1st.
Okay, so next time we talk.
No, we have one more.
2 times, yeah.
Yeah, we have one more meeting before that. All right, public safety.
Nothing. Wait, was there?
Coffee with a Cop.
Coffee with a Cop is on Friday at Panera.
8 to 10.
8 to 10. Yep. Oh, blood drive.
Fire department had the blood drive.
No, they're having it.
They're having it. You're right. April 22nd.
Yes.
9 to 3.
Go donate blood.
Schedule online.
Yes.
Building committee had nothing. Transportation infrastructure did have something. Sanitary manhole rehabilitation, which is exactly what it sounds like.
Fixing the manhole covers.
Fixing the manhole covers for $54,700. And then under other reports, Trustee Wilson talked about communication and how we do a decent job, but he wants to see some improvements, which is something that you and I have championed for a while. And I think we're going to see some changes here before long.
Yeah. So he basically we need to be more, not just on Facebook, not, we should be more active on Facebook, but also like on Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn, and also other forms of communication. Also, this happened later in the week, and I Tim and I went back and forth with each other, like, oh my God, our branding, like the Daily Herald didn't know what our branding was and like what it stood for. And I was like, oh my God, our branding should be on everything, on everywhere. Everyone should know what star means. Everyone should know all of those things. So just more in your face branding will need to happen. As somebody whose background's in marketing, I just couldn't believe that.
Yeah. And Tim he talked about driving engagement multiple times, and he is absolutely spot on. And I would love to see us do more short form and video and short form video.
Yes.
And
less text.
Drive that engagement.
Yes. Less text.
Yep.
So, we'll see. But Tim Wilson's speaking his brain. So.
And that's great. And it's going to drive some change. Just remember that we are government and change is slow for us.
Much to our chagrin.
It'll come. Yes. So nothing in the omnibus vote list for staff reports. We had nothing from the clerk, the attorney, nothing there. No executive session.
Nada.
We were out of there at 8:01. A minute. I'm sorry. Exactly 1 hour. We started a minute late.
I ended a minute late. No,
we don't have an end time. So
all right. That was that. If you watched this far, you deserve a gold star. Oh, that rhymed.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So
this was a rough one, man.
The next board meeting's coming up in 2 weeks or so.
Oh, and we're going to pass the budget.
And we'll pass the budget.
If you want to come to any board meeting ever, that's the one you come to. So you can hear what goes on, where we're spending your money.
Correct.
It's that simple.
It's I forget what day it is. It's also Trustee Russell's last village board meeting, so I'm sure he'll be recognized there. And
wait, is that when we're sworn in the 8th? Right?
Correct. So it's what is that? The 24th?
The 24th.
The 24th will be Trustee Russell's last meeting, passing of the budget. So Trustee Russell will be recognized then.
I hope so.
And then on the 8th, Trustee-elect Robin Meyer will be joining us.
Yep.
And thank you to everybody who voted and reelected both of us. We are very grateful.
All right. Again, if you stayed at this long, good for you. We will see you guys in...
If you watch this far, you deserve a gold star. Say it again, Kara. All right. With that, we'll see you the next episode.
Take care.
Have a great day.
Enjoy the weather. It's awesome out. Okay, bye.